Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Common Good Podcast. If you're regular around here, you know I'm Doug Padgett. I live in the Minneapolis area, and it's been such a hard time here in Minneapolis, especially over the last couple of weeks. And we're going to talk in a minute to Jessie, who it was even impacted in ways different than the rest of us because he was right there on the scene just before Alex Pretti was killed by the ICE officer. So we're glad Jessie's going to be here in a minute, but we'll just give our quick hellos before we jump into that, even though normally we start with some happy talk. We're going to dispense with that today.
Yeah, not much happy talk these days, huh?
Yeah. But anything else, Rob, going on before we
we got about 8 inches of snow, which is enough to, I know it's nothing for you folks there in Minneapolis, but here in Arkansas, man, it's enough to shut everything down. So we're on day 2 of no school.
Yeah.
And, Whimsy was out sledding yesterday and, took a hard tumble and hurt her tailbone and,
Wow.
So
she's just initiated as a child into winter. Yeah. Good for her. The butt bruise from a sled.
Oh, hey, better than the broken arm, right?
Yeah, that's right. Collarbone.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Rob, one of the things that was true during COVID when George Floyd was murdered just a few blocks from where Renee Good was murdered, and from a mile or so from where Alex Pretti was murdered. Part of what allowed people to focus and to watch the videos and to see and to rally was the fact that there was this shutdown that was happening.
Yeah.
Right. It compounded. It also focused people's minds. This big storm that came through this weekend to many parts of the country also put people at home.
Had the same effect.
Yeah. It's kind of curious that those things, I know people care, but they were able to focus, or maybe, were trapped in their house with their children and wanted to look at something other than each other, as many of us do on snow times. And what people are seeing is tragic. It is absolutely terrible. We'll talk to Jessie here in a moment, but we'll also talk about the more ongoing things that are happening with ICE here in the Twin Cities and how Donald Trump is now acting like he's coming to the rescue, this guy. It's just...
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, Doug, with, different folks have different approaches when it comes to these. And, we're talking to Jessie, who happened to, catch some of this interaction on his camera. When people see the videos, there's different reactions. There's the people who can't watch the video, don't want to watch the video, don't show it to me.
Yeah.
And then there are others who are like, I have to watch it. I have to see it all. It's interesting. I wonder about the long-term effects of kind of either one of those approaches. People handle this kind of trauma differently. And, but it's interesting to see, this morning I was watching a bit of Jessie's interview on CNN. And Vanessa was like, put your earbuds in. I can't listen. And I get that. I mean,
and she's a hospital chaplain, to put a point on it. She's not like she, wants to walk around with her eyes closed. She's just like, this is too intense to have in my house, in my kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's chat with Jessie. We'll bring him on here. Hey, Jessie, thanks for being on with us. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we'll have you on another time when we can do the happy talk and joke around and do all that normal,
real
bullshittery that we normally do.
That's right. So Jessie, we share a mutual friend. He sent me a text yesterday. He knows we text a lot about so many things happening in our world, and he sent the text with the link of you on Aaron Burnett's show on CNN last night. What was it, last night? Yesterday afternoon, I guess?
Yeah, it was last night, about 6 p.m. That was my first time being on live TV, and it was really nerve-wracking.
It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, you don't know where to look. You don't know how to smile. The delays, all of it, the anxiety that builds. You did great.
Just really didn't want to swear and didn't want to cry.
Yeah,
I did both. So
yeah, because right, because these emotions. I mean, Okay, so we'll set the situation. Sean sent me a text with that link in it and said, "Hey, my friend Jessie was right there when it happens." And so I thought, boy, if you'd be willing to talk to us and to our national audience here, it would just mean a lot to people
Yeah.
who get somebody who's close. Can you describe what happened? And then we'll show the video, and I'll just tell people, your video does not include Alex being killed by ICE. So that's not what they're going to see right now. Just to Rob's point about some people get real sensitive, appropriately so.
Yeah. Let me kind of break down like what was happening at that moment. We were en route to drop off our dog before work, and we noticed a commotion outside of B Resale, which is a thrift store that does a lot of like mutual aid. And I mean, you live in Minneapolis, you're seeing ICE everywhere right now, just as I have been. So I started filming. And what I didn't know at the time, I was filming Alex Pretti in the last moments before the end of his life.
Right.
We drove through the thing, and we got through the intersection, turned around and watched a little bit longer. We still had our dog in the car. So once things started escalating, we decided to go get him out of the car. And by the time we reached the apartment that we were dropping the dog off about 3 blocks away, he had already been killed.
And then you saw that, like, it showed up on your, like your social media feed, or how did you know that ICE had killed him at that point?
I'm friends with like a decent amount of people who are trying to pay attention and are plugged in, who are protesting, who are patrolling, stuff like that. And one of them messaged me and said there was another shooting, and he sent me the video. He says, "I don't think he survived that." And I was like, oh my God, I was just there, like literally just there. And kind of just had a panic attack. And then I was like, I have video showing what happened, because DHS was so quick to try to paint a different story of what was happening. So I posted it and kind of just set a trajectory of a lot of calls, a lot of messages, a lot of everything. Yeah.
Did anybody from the city reach out to you, or the Minneapolis police or the FBI, or?
No.
Wow.
Dozens of reporters, a few lawyers, hundreds of friends. I did message the county, make sure they had the video for their investigations. But yeah.
Okay, so you're just an ordinary person just driving down a road. I received a message from a friend of mine today, and there's a lot of work around all this. And he said, "Hey, I'm hearing different things. Some people are saying that Alex was not at a protest. He was just on the street. Is that true? Because this friend of mine, who's paying so much attention, was told, you got your dogs over there. He's been told by DHS and ICE, you can't, quote unquote, bring a gun to a protest," and created the sense in people's mind that there was a protest on the corner of 26th and Nicollet. It was not a protest. It was you just driving to drop your dog off, Alex out, looking at what's going on. ICE comes and creates a commotion in the middle of the street. Is that accurate, as you would say it?
That is 100% accurate. It wasn't a protest. Every single person there that was there because they were going about their day, going about their lives. These aren't activists. These aren't paid agitators. These are people who are, going to get coffee, doing their morning errands. It's a Saturday morning in Minneapolis. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, can we, we'll watch the video. It runs 30 some seconds, and I really appreciate your commentary at the end, so I'm glad it's in there.
Okay.
So, okay, here we go.
Things got buried. Yeah, unroll your windows. No, you're just spray inside. Alright, let's go around. Fuck off! Pieces of shit.
All right, so part of what I find so refreshing about it is not only do I sort of agree and have felt those very same sentiments and said versions of that, it just shows that in your tone of voice there at the end that you're just a guy getting down the road and you're like, this is just so ridiculous, terrible. Is that sort of how you were feeling at the time?
Yeah. Frustrated, pissed off. Like, I think for a lot of us Minneapolis residents, we don't understand why this is happening. What's the purpose of this? What is the benefit of this? What is the end game?
Right.
I don't know anyone in Minneapolis who thinks immigration is a problem. If an immigrant makes it to Minnesota, let them be. It's cold. It's miserable. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be hardy to be here.
That's right. That's right. Rob, a co-host here, had a great line last week where he said, there's a lot of things I'm afraid of. Immigrants are not on that list.
No. Yeah. These are people who are here trying to make a better life for their families. They're trying to work and be contributing members of society. What is wrong with that?
Yeah.
Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, is this the kind of the first time you've personally seen ICE interacting with somebody on the street? Is this like, how common is this? Like, is this, something you're seeing every single day, or is this a little bit unusual, which is why you pulled out your camera and started filming?
Well, for the past month, Operation Surge, you're seeing them everywhere all the time. They're constantly everywhere. I mean, there was a little bit of a time after Renee Good where I kind of feel like ICE agents took a little bit of a break in the city and started terrorizing the suburbs instead. I just, having been through like George Floyd and everything in Minneapolis, I've always recorded when I saw something going down, because that gives a clear definition of what's happening. It's harder to argue, this is what they deserve, this is what they had coming, when you actually have documented proof that it did happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's a sense where you can see you're pulling up and there's ICE on the street. Now someone who's Alex is interacting with them. You're kind of making your way through, and someone's in the car with you, it sounds like, and you say they say roll the windows down, and then you or someone else says, no, they're probably going to
down. It was my husband, and he said, no, they're spraying into people's cars. Like,
so, yeah. And what strikes me about that is here's just two people running some errands in the morning. There's ICE. Keep the windows rolled up because they're going to spray pepper spray into people's cars.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, that fact alone, not only that within 45 seconds they have a man on the ground and are firing 9 deadly rounds of ammunition into his body. The fact that somehow in a month and a half, it's like, oh, there they are again. Keep the windows rolled up. As you know what I'm saying? There's like, not knowing what's about to happen, there's kind of this resigned sense of this is just ridiculous level of harassment. And that's what I think people in the rest of the country don't know. They will say things because a lot of us show up with our cameras pointing at us, and I'm one of those, and you're out in a place and there's like an organized group and there's a bunch of people. So it can create the idea that what's happening is, I don't know, organizers are getting gaggles of us together, but that's not what's happening. It's people driving to work or to school, or their kids are out playing, and here comes a bunch of thugs with masks and weapons.
I mean, this is the thing about Minneapolis is a community. We come together, we take care of each other, we care about each other, we care about our neighbors. I don't need to know someone's name to worry about their livelihood, their health, their life. And that's the thing, is that's why so many people have been distributing whistles and, trying to educate themselves on what they can and can't do to kind of protect these things. Because I make the mistake of reading comments on social media.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we all do.
Apparently, people on social media say that I'm fat.
Yeah.
So.
And it's hard because so many people are arguing, let them do their jobs, get out of their way. This is the thing. If we let them do their jobs, they're doing so much more harm.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Jessie, from your vantage point and what you witnessed, I'm curious about two things. One is, obviously it's so important that we've got this video documentation. Is there anything that you saw that maybe you didn't catch on video that is stuck with you that you wish you had been able to capture on video? And then I'm curious. So that's one question. And then the second one is, I'm curious about the officer that was interacting with Alex at that point. Did you have a sense of, who was the aggressor, and, did this officer have reason to fear for his life?
That officer had nothing to fear from Alex. Yeah. He was 100% the aggressor. Alex was standing there calmly recording. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what the video shows. It's the beginning of their interaction. And I've spoken with a decent amount of different reporters who kind of broke it down for me, what happened, video by video, because there's so many other people that were also recording. And my video is the video that records the beginning. And it shows that Kristi Noem is lying. The DHS is lying. This Trump administration is lying. He was not there to cause harm. He was not the aggressor. He was legally observing and recording.
Yeah.
And that action alone is enough to send these ICE agents into enrage.
Yeah. He was doing essentially the same thing you were doing. Moving down the street, recording with your phone.
That's where it hurts. That's what's the scariest thing about that, is that could have been me. That could have been almost any of us in Minneapolis. It's senseless, it's violent, and it's barbaric. Yeah. We as a society need to move past this type of stuff, because it doesn't serve anyone. It's not helping anyone. It's not making a better, safer society.
Yeah. Jessie, I'm thinking about how you're doing. A lot of us have said, I have felt the same thing. I've confronted agents in these kinds of situations, law enforcement, and gotten up in their business and stuff. And there's always been kind of this sense that a lot of us have that they're professional enough to not cross a boundary, and we sort of know the boundaries, and I've been involved in lots of direct actions, being arrested by police, and you kind of know how to do this.
Yeah.
These rogue federal agents are untrained and are not operating under that at all. So a lot of us have felt like, man, I carry a separate phone with me when I go out to record, one that I can easily, ditch and not have all my stuff in it and all this kind of thing. So I'm nervous when I'm out there. But for you, the feeling that you looked over and were right there, and within, again, I don't know if you watch the videos, matter of less than a minute, he's on the ground and there's shots being fired. Do you feel that in your body? Do you feel like this sense of like that is just so close that it really does remind you of how that could feel?
The feelings are complex, and they're all over the place, and they're different about every 2 hours. Mostly I'm pissed off, I'm upset, and I am overwhelmingly sad above anything else, and frustrated.
Yeah.
Sad and frustrated.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have had a few people ask me, like, do you feel scared to live in Minneapolis? And the answer to that is no, I'm not scared to live in Minneapolis, but I'm angry.
Yeah.
Because to be scared is to be defeated by them.
Yeah. Yeah. You almost have to
We'll
make
still
yourself
be
not
here.
be scared of them. Yeah.
There's going to be a time after this. What is currently happening in Minneapolis with these outside ICE agents coming in to sow chaos and
Yeah.
everything else, it's not going to be forever. We'll still be here after.
That's right.
Maybe a little more beat up, but we'll be here.
Yeah. Are you nervous at all about your own well-being, how this administration might try to target you? Or how do you feel the need for, legal protections or other things? I mean, how's all that going once you get out, on much bigger broadcasts than this one, which you have been, that now you're one of the voices that people who are opposed to people observing federal officers and apparently want the government to tread on all of us.
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
I had to have a conversation with my family about that. Was doing these type of things is going to put a target on my back. And yeah, I am nervous, but at the same time, the more open and honest I am about these things, and the more I get this message out and get that video in front of more people, the safer I am.
Does it surprise you at all that, during the George Floyd responses that many of us were into, we were all very concerned that the government was surveilling us. I mean, that was a real thing, right? It was happening, and we were nervous about it, and people were preventing it. Now what's happening is we are all out surveilling federal agents, right? Putting eyes on corners, reporting where they are, shooting video of them. Like the fact that citizens of this state are now having to say it's on all of us, a bunch of ordinary people needing to be vigilant at every moment because the government is out of control and we have to document it. I don't know. To me, that feels different than other times where someone could argue there was a single incident, happened one time, everything was unusual. You hear all this all the time. Because now the ICE agents are just rolling from place to place and violating rights and just wreaking havoc on a minute-by-minute basis. They're doing it literally right now.
Yeah. It's, I think the frustrating thing about this is being a resident of Minneapolis. They aren't following procedure. They're not following law. They're acting like they can get away with anything. To say that they aren't trained, they're meant to not be trained. They're meant to be goons.
That's right.
They're running around our streets holding guns like this, like they're playing a video game.
Yeah.
One of the hot mics after the shooting, literally one of the agents said, "This is like Call of Duty."
Yeah.
Wow.
CNN showed me some footage yesterday, and it kind of caught me off guard. The one ICE officer, I hadn't seen that, who clapped after the shooting.
Yeah. Now you have commentators trying to say, and I don't know, maybe Aaron Burnett even asked you, like, hey, how do you interpret the clapping of that agent? Like, none of us should have to be figuring out why federal agents who just killed someone are clapping. Like, job done. I'm happy. Like
It shows what's going on behind the scenes with ICE.
Yeah.
100%.
They're encouraging and promoting this behavior. It's coming from the top down, I assume, because it's ingrained in their culture at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, we're three white guys, sitting here talking about this. And I imagine there could be people of color, women who are like, glad you guys are finally waking up to the fact that like it's not always safe to just walk down the street. I'm curious about how this situation has changed your sense of kind of personal safety, community security, how you're thinking about all of that, having such a front row seat to something this tragic.
That's a really good point that you brought up. And I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends who don't have the same complexion or privilege that I have. And it has really opened up my eyes on exactly who we are as a country, who have we been, and why are we okay with this?
Yeah.
Why are we okay with this happening to other communities? Why are we okay with this being a norm outside of just Minneapolis?
Yeah.
This is the thing, is ICE has been acting up way longer than before Operation Surge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse, thank you. Your bravery to share your video and to make it public helps other people be brave.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have had to say, look, we know that Pam Bondi, we know that the head of Homeland Security, we know that ICE is lying. I've seen the video. And you can say, I know they're lying. I was there looking at them and shooting a video.
Yeah.
Like that is one step closer. And frankly, you being out talking about it here and other places humanizes the fact that who are these people that are filming and watching and knowing? It's you, somebody, with a bunch of people around you in the background, making breakfast and living with your dogs, just trying to have a life. That's who it is.
Yeah.
And so for all the people who need to say to the others in our lives, you're being lied to about who you think the agitators are and what you think is happening and how dangerous you think Minneapolis is. Right now, Minneapolis is dangerous because federal agents have masks on and are recklessly abusing people. Take that away, and I don't think many of us are going to feel quite as threatened, certainly not by the immigrant populations of Minneapolis.
I have never felt unsafe in Minneapolis. I have never felt unsafe in any neighborhood in Minneapolis. I have never felt safe going down Lake Street. I have never felt safe in North Minneapolis. I have only felt unsafe in Minneapolis after this occupation by ICE agents.
Yeah. Jesse, looking forward, what does justice look like for you? Like, what?
I think
how would you envision it?
Well, first off, we need to arrest these ICE agents that are committing crimes, murders. I mean, Renee Good's killer is where? Not in
custody.
Arrested.
Yeah.
How many people fired into Alex Pretti?
Yeah.
At least 3 agents. There's no transparency. And then we need to look at the structure of the systems that allowed this to happen. And those need to be dismantled.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be defunded, they need to be dismantled, and they need to be abolished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't need to be this. We don't need to be this as a country. We don't need to be this as a society.
Yeah.
Alex, thank you. Or Jesse, thank you. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for holding up the truth in a time when it is far too rare. So thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see.
Wow.
I mean,
It really is something. Doug, this is just and you made the point, this is a regular person.
Yeah.
This is a guy with his husband on a Saturday morning, dropping their dog off for doggy babysitting, and ends up being witness to a shocking murder at the hands of federal agents. And this is not far away and distant.
No.
This is not.
Yeah, for some of us, I'm closer, and Jesse's even closer than that. Like there are degrees, and the degrees of closeness is shockingly little, right? It's like, today I will go run into people doing this nonsense and people impacted by it. Like it's coming to other towns. If you think it's not, they are. They are.
And this is not a Hollywood thing. This is not a movie. This is not a. I was watching an episode last night of the Mayor of Kingstown and thinking about the violence that was taking place in that show, and this doesn't happen. No, this happens.
This happens.
This literally happened on the street where Jesse was going to drop his dog off.
Yeah, and look, if you knew this street in Minneapolis, it's called Eat Street. It's full of restaurants, lots. It's called Eat Street because it's very restaurant heavy, and restaurants with a food range from around the world. Yeah. So I was down there with Shelly, my wife, yesterday, and she said, this neighborhood has always been enlivened by immigrants in very successful ways. Yeah. And it is as fun and good and normal as you can be. A bunch of us have spent so much time on that street, standing in that spot. And Alex and Jesse and everybody who's around there, they get to be there. And then these ICE agents, these paid agitators, are flown in here under the pretense, Rob, that they're going to get the worst of the worst. Now, look, I've never hunted the worst of the worst, but you know what I'm pretty sure of?
They're not
if
in
you
Minneapolis.
Tell them that you're coming on December 1st and you've stayed for a month and a half, the worst of the worst are probably going to get in a car and drive south to a red state. Maybe Iowa, maybe Missouri, maybe Kansas, maybe Arkansas, maybe Texas. Do you think they're waiting around? Do you think the worst of the worst are just waiting around? And if they're so bad, heavy-handed, gang-banging, dangerous thugs, when you walk up to them on the street as an ICE agent, what do you think a gang member is going to do in response? Film you? No, they're not. You know how we know they're not going after the worst of the worst? They can't show us any, and it makes absolutely no sense. And I'll tell you, friends, if you're having people in your life say, what about these criminals? Those criminals that they're showing you, ICE took them into custody out of the Department of Corrections. And the Department of Corrections in Minnesota has to have their leaders go on television and say, we're going to show you the video when we handed this person over to ICE. And they're making it sound like we let the person out of prison and they're roaming the streets and they had to capture them up. Now, Rob, I've spent a lot of time around ICE agents and Border Patrol agents. ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. There is a hierarchy inside of law enforcement about how people think about each other. A SWAT member tends to think about a city police officer a little different. Somebody who's in street crimes thinks about things a little different than somebody who's working behind a desk. Well, ICE agents are seen as the lowest level of barely any kind of law enforcement, even on the border. In fact, the Border Patrol look down on ICE agents. It is the the freaking Cub Scouts of
Yeah,
law
we're just a
enforcement.
step above like mall security.
And you are hearing all kinds of people in law enforcement say this all very gently. But instead, what this Trump administration has done with ICE is taken people completely incapable of any kind of understanding. You don't stand in front of a car if someone's driving it. You don't tackle a person if you think they have a gun. If you thought someone had a gun and you were a trained officer, what you would not do is pull on that person and jump on top of them.
Yep.
Right? None of this makes any sense. And every person, now I have a friend who was talking with a person who was in the who was an Army Ranger in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, he had to stand there, and he said, we would have cars driving at us. We didn't know if they were a suicide bomber. We didn't know if they were coming for help. Our lives were at risk all the time. What we were told was, this is as United States Rangers in a war zone in Afghanistan. You cannot shoot the driver. It would be a war crime. You have to demobilize the car, shoot the engine, shoot the tires, stop the vehicle. He said, if we shot a driver of that car, we would be prosecuted. So if you want to say like these are the toughest guys and their lives are in jeopardy, talk to the people literally in our system who have to deal with this on a regular basis. SWAT members, street police, military, none of them act the way these ICE agents do. Because they are unprofessional, they are broken human beings inside of a broken system.
Yeah.
And look, if there's any ICE agents in this country who think that what these guys are doing is violating your code as an ICE agent and you're proud of your work, here's what I suggest you do. Go on strike.
Yeah.
You know, people are calling for a national strike. You know who needs to go on strike? All the other ICE agents who aren't these guys. Shut it down. Slow walk the whole thing. Everybody call in sick. Remember when pilots wanted to renegotiate their contract and a bunch of them called in sick so that flights got delayed and canceled? Well, good-hearted ICE agents call in sick.
Yeah.
Doug, don't make the rest of us quit our jobs or go on strike.
Right.
You do it. If you are so convinced that you are doing right and these rogue guys don't know what they're doing, step up, tough guy. Step up. But you know what? Not one of them is going to speak out. Not one.
Yeah. Doug, can we talk about the fact that Alex Pretti was armed?
Apparently I'm going to yell. So yes, if you apparently I'm going to yell at you.
Yeah. Let's talk about the fact that Alex Pretti was armed.
Yeah.
Was carrying a handgun. I'm not a fan of people carrying guns.
Yes.
Not a fan of how many guns are in our society, in our culture, and the role that guns play in our culture. And the Second Amendment to the Constitution allows for the right of every American to keep and bear arms. So Alex Pretti was doing that. The irony of his gun being used as an excuse for his murder is just shocking. Doug, you've been saying, where are the don't tread on me folks?
Yeah.
You've been asking that question. Where are the Second Amendment people?
Yep.
Where are the you'll take it from my cold dead fingers? Where are the Kyle Rittenhouse supporters?
Yeah.
One
of them is the head of the FBI currently, who said he would pay for Kyle Rittenhouse's legal fees, and now is saying Alex Pretti couldn't carry a gun on the streets of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Because you know what they believe? People who think the way they think have the motto, don't tread on me. People who disagree with this administration, this fascist regime,
Tread
those
all
people's rule is comply or die. Two sets of rules based on what you think. What you think.
Yeah.
Rob, it is now the NRA has come out. This is actually causing Republican lawmakers to call for some investigations. They are out of their mind that their guy, Donald Trump, who they just love so very much, wrote things like, why else would you be carrying a gun unless you wanted to kill police officers? And again, Alex Pretti was not interfering with anyone. It was not a protest. He was a guy on the street that ICE approached. If you didn't watch the video here, we'll show it to you again in a little bit, I guess, before we go. If you haven't watched all the other videos, he is not interfering. Do you know who's interfering with Alex Pretti's life before they took it from him? The ICE agents are interfering with his life. He is backing up and trying to record them while they are agitating him and then spraying him with some kind of a pepper spray or mace. And then when he's trying to save another woman, they rip him to the ground and shoot him.
Yeah.
And Jessie, who was on here, shows the video of that interaction that that Alex was not doing anything. Now, are people going to believe that? No. You know why they're not going to believe it? Because they have to tell themselves a narrative.
Yeah.
That ICE are the good guys. But I hear them also say, ringing still in my ears, Rob, are these same jokers who are defending ICE right now saying, do you know what stops a bad guy with a gun?
A good guy with a gun. No,
so what determines if you're good or bad? Who you voted for?
You just shot the good guy with the gun.
Literally the guy who works at the VA and is a nurse in a crisis situation and saves people's lives, and he's trying to document what federal agents are doing on our streets. And if you think that guy's not the good guy, and the person who's masked and shot him is the good guy, well,
in the back.
Enjoy your day.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't care. Look, there's a lot of things to disagree about. This is not one of them.
Right.
To all of the people defending ICE, this is not something to defend. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Because you know what? If an ICE agent had performed this way when Joe Biden was president, you would have lost your minds.
Right.
And if you say you wouldn't, shall we go back and roll the tape?
Right. Right.
Oh, it is just
the kids have a saying, Doug. The kids say, take the L. Just take the L.
That's the loss.
Sometimes sometimes you've got to just realize, hey, we lost this one. And trying to excuse it, trying to defend it makes you look ridiculous. Like the people in the comments who are saying, were calling us unhinged idiots, calling us lies, suggesting that, these ICE agents are just protecting us. Yeah. And, yet he was agitated and was throwing things at ICE. Like, come on, just take the L and admit that your side messed this one up.
You killed people twice. Your people have killed U.S. citizens in the city of Minneapolis who brought them no harm. And if you want to try to look, if any of you people in the comments want your city to be under the rules that if an untrained masked ICE agent comes up to you and you don't do what they say, they should kill you, you don't want to live in that world.
Yeah.
And if you believe, again, if you weren't watching the whole time, I understand. Maybe you've just tuned in. Show me 6 weeks worth of work of ICE of the criminals they've taken off the street in Minnesota. Show me. Do you know how many murderers? 0. Do you know how many murders or deaths by gun have been caused by ICE agents? 2. You might not be good at math. I can break it down for you. ICE agents have killed more people than immigrants this week in Minnesota, this month in Minnesota. And if you want to call that acceptable loss, shame on you.
Yeah. So Doug, this,
shame on you. And if I go back and you scroll in your social media feeds and you are crying your hearts out about somebody who you agree with who's killed, and you want justice, and no one can say a bad word about Charlie Kirk because he was a good man, then you understand what it's like when a person causing another person no threat is killed. It's just, and look, I know people are just trying to perform because they know they've supported a guy who is destroying this country, is incompetent, and is in the Epstein files. Okay, let's talk about what they're doing. Let's talk about what they're doing now, shall we?
Yeah. So clearly, Donald Trump is seeing that this is taking a toll on his support, on his popularity. This is got the attention of the American people and is absolutely backfiring. And you see him tacoing just like he does with tariffs.
Yes.
He's, Bovino, is that the guy's name?
Bovino.
The little Nazi wannabe guy. He apparently has been removed from his position in leading this operation. And now border czar Tom Homan is on his way to Minneapolis to kind of take over.
And is going to be reporting directly to Donald Trump, according to Donald Trump.
Yeah, and it seems like Kristi Noem is being, might
Sidelined.
very well be being sidelined in all of this. So, I'm glad the border czar is coming, because I just glanced up at my map, and Minnesota has a
Significant
long,
border.
unguarded, open border, with predominantly white Canada.
Open border, no walls.
Yeah. Just,
I don't know. We're not a country, apparently, because there's no border wall.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Jokers.
So, Doug, do you see this as progress, or do you?
No, it's not progress. No, what it is.
Are you nervous that this is going to be that Tom Homan might actually be more competent at leading?
No. Okay. Look, Tom Homan has been opposed. Tom Homan has been opposed to what Dan Bovino and all these other people have been doing with ICE and with the surges and the raids when they did them in Chicago, and when they did them in Portland, and when they did them in Charlotte. He's been opposed to this. The reason he's being brought in is because they're trying to change the tack that ICE has been using. Do you know why, people in the comments? Because Donald Trump said yesterday in talking to Mayor Fry, our mayor, lectured the convicted felon president, and our governor lectured the president. And you know what the president said? He said to them, I agree, this can't go on like this. So if you're supporting ICE, to put a point on it, you are out of step with the president of the United States, the mayor of Minneapolis, and the governor of Minnesota, and the two of us. Who are you in with? Apparently no one other than masked ICE agents, because they would not be saying it can't go on like this. We need to get Bovino out and pull some ICE agents out if it was going well. And if you think that killing 2 American citizens means they've got to tuck tail and run, the whole thing is broken. And the fact that people cannot admit that it is broken, it is wrong, and that's why even this administration, after months and months of people saying over and over and over, you are immoral, you are wrong, and you are incompetent, is, as you say, Rob, going to do exactly what the leaders of a blue state demand. Mm-hmm. Because they're wrong. And you might not care about being wrong. I get it. People don't care about being wrong. They are glad to support a guy who pardoned people who beat police officers. Yeah, you don't care about that. I get it. You don't care about right and wrong. Yes, we get it. But could you at least be right about the things your maniacal leader is right about? Do you really have to be so wrong that you're even opposed to Trump? And look, I mean, I wanted our governor to do a whole lot more things.
Yeah.
That got ICE out of here before people had to die. So I'm not pleased that we didn't put up more of a resistance. Do you know what the resistance is that we do here, Rob? I'm going to put this up to the camera so people can see it. See this little plastic thing? Kind of looks like an old jump drive from about 5 years ago. Maybe you can read that. It says Report ICE 612-441-2881. These are plastic whistles that are being distributed all over the cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the Twin Cities area. Little whistles that you go to blow. And people run around blowing. Keep them in your pocket. Keep bunches of them. People are handing them out. You know why? Because ICE comes and people die. So U.S. citizens are having to alert everyone, apparently, to be on your best behavior so a federal agent doesn't kill you. You want to live in a country where you have to behave the way a masked 3-month-long federal employee at the lowest level of federal law enforcement tells you to behave? You want to tuck your tail and do what the feds tell you to do? You want to kowtow and cower and comply to the federal government? Because all you people chatting about this in the chat, we normally don't turn against our viewers. But I don't think you get what you're even saying. Yeah. They should comply. Are you prepared to comply when, I don't know, Gavin Newsom is the president and he decides to send a bunch of forces into your town and tells you where you can do, what you can do, where you can go, and what you can say? Are you ready to comply? Because that's what you're saying. So just quit it. Of course you don't mean it. This is what's so exasperating about this. People don't believe this. They don't believe it for a second. They're only saying it because they're trying to find some way to blame the libs, you Democrats. Literally, Donald Trump has been in office for more than a year, sends federal agents into a city, are killing our people, and you still blame Biden. Joe Biden is the most powerful person to ever be the president in your minds, apparently. I mean, after Barack Obama, of course. But your guy's just powerless, about anything but kill people, apparently. And, you know, they have every right to. But it can't keep going on like this, and this doesn't work, and we need to investigate everything. But they have the right to kill people. Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll be found guilty and then pardoned?
I don't think they're going to be found guilty.
Yeah. I wonder how long the statute of limitations lasts on killing by on death by homicide caused by a federal agent. Because you know what they're going to need to do? Donald Trump is going to need to pardon these people so that 3 years from now, in 36 months, an investigation is not opened against them for the death of Alex Pretti and Renee Good. Because the statute of limitations, it's going to extend 3 years. So if they don't get a pardon, or if they're not tried and found not guilty by a jury, they're going to be tried. So what do you think they're going to do about that? Do you think Donald Trump is going to spend one moment of care or concern what happens to these murderers from ICE to protect them?
I'm sorry, Doug, I can't help but notice Raymond's comment. You're a communist vermin.
Well, there we go. Thank you.
Thank you for the really thoughtful commentary there,
Raymond, you keep using that word. I do not think that word means what you think it means. You don't know your Princess Bride lines. That one might go over your head. But thanks for watching anyway, Raymond. We've been saying for a long time on this podcast, Donald Trump is committed to one thing, making sure that no one in their job is better at their job than he is at his, which means everyone in any job that Donald Trump has anything to do with is more incompetent than he is. And it's playing out person after person. By the way, you want to check into Tom Homan? Do a little Google search, y'all, on Tom Homan. Find out why Tom Homan was investigated in a sting operation by the FBI for taking bribes.
Yes. And this is
That's the guy they're sending in, the law and order guy, to save the day.
And let me say this before the comments come. This is the same Tom Homan who received a presidential honor from Barack Obama for his service in ICE during Barack Obama's presidency. Let me say this in a loud and clear voice. Barack Obama was not good on the issue of immigration.
No. And not because he was all, let them all in.
Right.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't ordering ICE agents. Well, at least he didn't allow ICE agents on the streets to kill people, which is the escalation that we've seen now.
Yeah, that's it.
We have seen an escalation from Obama not good on immigration, Biden not good on immigration, and now we have an escalation with Trump that's even worse.
Look, if you're somebody who voted for Donald Trump when he said that they're eating our dogs in a presidential debate, immigrants are eating our dogs, then you don't care about the facts. And that's fair enough. You don't need to care about all the facts of everything. If you don't care about the facts of immigrants, you don't care about the facts of immigration, you don't care about the facts of law and order, no one forces you to do that. You have the full and free right to stay ignorant on everything you want to stay ignorant on. No one should put a demand on you to know anything you don't want to know. But when you express an opinion then about ICE agents killing people, you might want to wrap it up in the fact that you're supporting a guy who said they're eating our dogs. And right now, if you're thinking, but they did eat our dogs, well, then there we go. Then there we go. They didn't.
Yeah.
And if you believe that ICE agents didn't kill people who were showing them no threat, okay. And look, the rest of us, we're not the nutty ones here, not just on this podcast, in the world. There are things that make sense, and there's things that don't. And in all honesty, the fact that now Trump is siding with Tim Walz and following Tim Walz's lead, how does that make you feel? All of us, how we doing? ICE agents, if you got paid $50,000 signing bonus. By the way, viewers, how do you feel about an ICE agent being so overpaid? Their signing bonus, $50,000 of your tax dollars. Feel good about that? Doesn't feel like a little fraud and waste? Doesn't feel like a little boondoggle? Doesn't feel like something we should doge? Hey, by the way, did you see last week Elon Musk put out a Twitter post of a video of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Did you see this video? Did you see it, Rob? It's a video where Tim Walz sits down to talk into the camera. He sits on a chair. He looks behind him. There's an American flag, and there's a Minnesota state flag.
Yeah.
He looks behind, sees the Minnesota state flag. He turns around. He gets up. He says, oh, hang on a minute. He moves it aside. He slides in another flag, sits down and says, oh, that's better. Elon Musk says in his post, removing the Minnesota flag and putting in the country of Somalia's flag is why this man is a traitor and a blah, 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 blah. Did you see it? Did you see it?
No, I know the video. I know why he changed the flag. I did not know
Tim
that
Walz
Elon
was
Musk-
introducing the new state of Minnesota flag over a long multi-year process of many iterations, and slid in the new Minnesota flag, took out the old Minnesota flag and brought in the new Minnesota flag. Elon Musk said he moved in the Somali flag. He's given away. There's your guy. Look, friends, the level of unbelievable nonsense that you are being told by people in this administration and have worked for this administration is simply stunning. And none of us are being fooled by it. So we're not into full Orwellian world yet, because the great majority of Americans are looking at them and saying that's utter nonsense. And if you don't see it as utter nonsense, I want to take that as a warning.
Yeah.
I don't even think Elon Musk pulled that video down or that post down. I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
I think he believes more people will say Tim Walz pulled the Somali flag, the flag from the country of Somalia, in place of the Minnesota flag. They're going to believe that till the day they die.
Yep.
Because Elon Musk said it to them. So this is where we sit. And what we see in this administration and the Rorschach test that is ICE in Minneapolis is this unbelievable nonsense. Deadly and incompetent. Where we have to surveil our own government. I'm running around the streets here having to shoot videos of people being protected and people being, terrorized. It's, and Rob, a second ring suburbs McDonald's impacted by this. Yeah. Last night I went with our grandson to stopped in McDonald's, even though when I asked his mom, my daughter, if I could post the video, she said, I'm fine with the video. I'm not fine with you taking him to McDonald's.
That's right.
It's a very grandpa
I
thing.
wondered about that.
Yeah. We pulled up and the big sign up front said lobby closed, drive-through only. So we sort of drove through to circle around to the drive-through, and there were people in the lobby, and there's a big play area. So we said, oh, maybe it is open. So we went in. It was open. A portion of a Happy Meal was consumed. Walking out, I said to the manager, hey, there's a sign out there at the drive that says it's closed. He said, well, we've been closed for a couple of weeks. And we just opened tonight, and we're going to close at 8, and we're just giving it a try. And I said, well, why is the restaurant lobby closed of a McDonald's in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, wealthy second, third ring suburb? And he said, staff shortages. I said, oh, because the federal government is attacking our citizens? And he said, yep. So I posted a video about that, shot the video. You know what people are saying in the video and comments? I don't see what the problem is. If they were hiring a bunch of illegal immigrants that ICE has now deported and they don't have enough people, McDonald's shouldn't have been hiring illegal immigrants.
No. It's
like,
heart.
Oh my gosh. No. None of the employees at that McDonald's were illegal immigrants. That's not why they have a problem. It's because in this area, people are not leaving their homes.
They're scared to go outside.
My own son, born in the state of Minnesota, as Minnesotan as I am, but of Mexican heritage, came to our house, to pick up his passport and his birth certificate because he drives for Amazon and was told by the dispatchers, people who look like you need to start carrying your papers. So if you think they are rounding up the worst of the worst, that's why the McDonald's, that's the impact. McDonald's, dead U.S. citizens on streets because you know what Minnesota really needed? Estimates from the federal government saying there could be as many as 130,000 people in the state of Minnesota whose legal status has expired or they didn't have status when they came in the country. A great majority have expired because there's no way to renew your status in this country in any kind of a legitimate way. 130,000. Not 2.3 million like in Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
How many immigrants have committed these harsh crimes here and not been convicted by our state courts? Zero. Because people in the state of Minnesota know how to arrest people who've committed sexual assault and murder and manslaughter. And they get turned over to ICE when they've served their term of punishment. I mean, what do you want? You want a murderer to be taken out of prison for the crime they were convicted of and sent back to their home country. You don't want them to pay for their crime? And while they're in our state prison system, you want to condemn us for having illegal immigrants who've committed murder in the state of Minnesota. When they're in jail, you want them to get out of jail and be sent back to their home country. You literally want them to get a get out of jail free card. If I'm wrong about that, please fill in the blanks, because that's what DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and ICE is claiming. Lordy, I hope there's video.
Doug, we watched today the video that Jessie took. We know that there was a guy across the street maybe in a donut shop or something taking a video. We know the woman in pink took a video. We've seen all of this video. Doug, you know what video we haven't seen yet?
What's that?
The video that Alex Pretti was taking.
Yeah. Great point.
What will that show? What will we hear the ICE agents say? What will we hear Alex Pretti say?
Yep.
When are they going to release that video? Is it now in the Epstein files, so we'll never get to see it?
Let me put my conspiratorial hat on for a minute and suggest to you. They destroyed that phone. What if that's true? What if that phone got broken real bad? What if the chain of custody from a crime scene was not preserved?
Yeah.
What if they opened that phone? Face ID or a finger ID. Deleted it all.
Yeah.
If it comes out, can't find the footage. What do you think all the ICE boosters are going to say then? Well, it was never there in the first place. He was just holding his phone. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Rob, real quick, a quick question for you. You've known a lot of people who've worked in public service for the state, for the county, for the city, for the federal government. Do you know any of them who are embarrassed to show their faces?
Nope.
You've known a lot of people who've done jobs that have put their lives at risk. Other than members of clandestine federal agencies, CIA, people working undercover. Maybe ones that the Bush administration wants to out to punish their husband. It's Valerie
Plame.
Do you know any of them who are embarrassed?
No.
Are there any? Do you know anybody else working in the government other than maybe a doctor in the VA performing a surgery who wouldn't be happy for someone to come and say, share with people what I do around here? I didn't know people would be interested. Please let them know. Show some video of what we're up to. In fact, we have a YouTube channel that shows what we do around here. That's what I know to be true. So why do these agents need to cover their faces? You know what my iPhone can do? It has a mask feature on it.
Yeah.
It says, do you want us to still identify you with a mask on? Because you know what you can do when someone wears a mask up to here? You can identify them. So if ICE is wearing masks because they really are concerned about their safety, that doesn't work that way. If they're wearing masks because then they look like thugs that you should be afraid of, well, then that makes some sense. The cosplay costumes of ICE are dangerous and something we need to demand of every law enforcement officer in this country is that they have to be identified. No secret police. That should not be debatable.
Right.
The captain of Brooklyn Park Police, city police captain, ran a press conference last week outlining many of the lies that are being told about local police officers. And he said a number of things that's worth watching. He said, I've been repeatedly reaching out to Homeland Security and to ICE to let them know that multiple members of our police force, when off duty, have been pulled over by ICE and harassed and put in danger and have had to use their own claims of being a police officer for their protection. I've tried to reach out to them. He said, we work with ICE for decades. I now don't have anyone to call. And then he said this, I'm told that I should go to the website that ICE operates and file a complaint against the officer. And the first bit of information, he said, that I have to input is the name of the officer. You can't go any further without the identification of the officer. And ICE does not identify themselves of who they are. So ICE has a complaint system that you can't make a complaint on about ICE agents. You think any of that is an accident?
It's almost like they're a little disingenuous.
Again, if all of this is okay because Donnie said, go boys, and that's why you're okay with it, great. But the next time you say the federal government is overreaching. I defy you.
Yeah. I can't think of anything more overreaching than 2 dead people in Minneapolis at the hands of federal agents.
Unbelievable. Let's continue to tell ourselves this is wrong. And when someone says, what else is a boy to do? Remind them, follow the law. And I know people are like you're so unbelievably ridiculous to believe that a man who is convicted of 34 felonies and pardoned police beaters, convicted of crimes, cares about law and order. I know people say I'm a fool. We don't all have to stoop to Donald Trump's level.
No, we don't.
And if you somehow believe that Donald Trump personally supervising Tom Homan and fixing things with ICE is what we want, this is a guy who believes immigrants are eating our dogs. But look, to steal a phrase, in America, there's a new kind of crime. ICE crime. That's the crime we should be talking about. Not immigrant crime. ICE crime.
Yep.
Nearly going to make an ice cream joke there. Hey, should we look at the chats and see if there's anything going on in the chat, or do you want to talk about anything else? Okay, Matt, friend of the broadcast, said Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has approved expanded housing and staging space near the Whipple Federal Building at Fort Snelling, giving DHS Border Patrol more room to base their vehicles and equipment tied to the ongoing immigration enforcement. And the surge is not winding down. Yeah, look, the surge, the federal government is now trying to bring in different personnel because Donald Trump doesn't want to take credit or blame for anything. So they're going to blame it on Bovino, and they're going to try to sidestep their way into something. And in the midst of it, they're going to keep terrorizing American citizens.
Yeah.
Because this administration will terrorize American citizens until January 20th, 2029.
Yep.
Because they are terrible.
Yeah. And listen, they don't believe the lives of American citizens are sacred and to be protected at all costs. We know this because most of us, but not all of us, lived through COVID. 1 million Americans lost their lives because of how this administration handled that pandemic and that crisis so incompetently. Do you remember the injecting bleach? Do you remember the light therapy? Do you remember the daily press briefings that would just totally go off the rails? And the inability of this administration to lead with any kind of competence. And if a million Americans die in the process, meh, oh well.
For those still watching, let's play the video again that we started this with Jessie. Jessie was on with us for a half an hour or so at the beginning. Here's the video that he shot and now has shared out. This is a video that is him pulling up right through the situation where Alex Pretti is interacting with ICE officers. It's not a protest.
No.
He's not brandishing a weapon.
He's not agitating.
No way. He's not agitating. He's filming. It's legal right. Jessie is driving through, doesn't know that within a minute, Alex Pretti is going to be killed by ICE officers that he sees standing with him right there at the time. But this is the video of the beginning of that, and Jessie was good enough to come on and share this with us.
Things got buried. Yeah, unroll your windows. No, you're just spray inside. Let's go around.
Okay, I'm gonna start it afresh here, Rob, because I think it's kind of worth us talking about for a minute because we didn't really. You can see that they're standing in the street. Alex Pretti is talking to an ICE officer. They're just standing there. There's no aggression. Then the ICE officer starts to push him, walk into him. He's backing up. That's when the other videos kick in where you see them now. They pull out a spray irritant. They spray it on him. sprayed on another woman there. They start this tussle. Alex tries to protect the woman. They roll him over. They put him and they shoot him on the back, and then they roll him over, and someone comes up and takes the gun out of his holster, and they. So what we don't know, to your point earlier, we don't know what Alex Pretti was saying. We don't know what the ICE officer was saying. We don't know. But we know what we see was going on. And none of that is what any ICE agent, any ICE representative, or any member of DHS has confirmed. So here it is again, so you can watch it. They're just talking. There they are.
Things got
He now
bad.
pans away, shows another officer, ICE officer walking up. There's no protest. Cars are just driving through.
Yeah, unroll your windows.
Those guys are still talking to him, and now right as he pans over, you see this guy starts to shove him. Look, he's got his hand on him. Who's aggressing who? Pushes him over. They're going to roll him over and kill him. Yeah, that's what's happening. He's filming in the middle of a public street. And do you know what courts have ruled, and we all know to be true? You can record ICE officials. And if they're telling him to back up, he's backing up.
Yeah.
What's he doing? What's he doing that gets you killed? If you haven't watched the next video, well, he interferes with police officers with a whistle. I mean, a whistle. Wow. How do you survive? How do you do your job when somebody's got a little plastic whistle?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, y'all, for sticking around. I'm tired and agitated.
Yeah.
Glad people are
Understandably.
paying attention to this. It's on a news show at 5 a.m. this morning, and on a thing at nearly 10 o'clock last night, and a bunch of other things, and being out there and it's freaking freezing. It's
Right.
like it's 8 below zero in the morning, and maybe a high of 3, and we're out there, and you're cold, and you're looking at memorial sites of dead people from our city, and ICE still roaming around, and a bunch of people quacking about some kind of comply or die nonsense. It's just.
Yeah.
So pardon me for my tone of indifference.
You're good.
You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. All right, should we thank some people in the chat?
Yeah. Everybody.
Hey, Dave Vooch. Thanks.
Dave Vooch. You don't. Davooch.
Dave Vooch.
Davooch.
L. Bryant 1226. And look, we all apologize for the fact that on YouTube has removed your chosen broadcast name for your official username. They did that because people were lying about who they were, so it just makes it all that much more awkward. Yeah, it's good to hear from you on here. Hey, Alex, glad you made it.
Jim, JB, Squirrely Prepper.
Peggy asks, where do whistles come from? Peggy, people are just dropping them off all over. You can probably walk into any store in Minneapolis and see if they have whistles for free. They're just dropping off bags of them. People are just printing these things, 3D printing these things all over the place. Somebody offered to print a bunch for Vote Common Good, which we hope to do, and then they'll be distributed, in other cities all over the place. It's going to be a boondoggle for the 3D printing suppliers.
Yep.
Thanks, Matt. Kimberly made
Karen,
it live. Yeah,
Roxana.
right on, Kimberly.
Carrie, Susan, Carla.
And mostly thanks to Jesse for coming on, being willing to share his story with us
totally.
and share his dogs with us and everything else.
Absolutely.
All right. Is it time for lunch?
Getting there.
It is where I live.